Good afternoon, and thank you for being here this evening for the regular meeting of San Bernardino International Airport Authority. This is our regular meeting for Wednesday, March the 27th, 2024, and it's approximately 5:04 p.m. If I can have our clerk please do roll call.
Yes, of course. Please state your name from the record. Member from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Member from the County of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
Dawn Rao.
Member from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
Please note that Member Larry McKellen is also present in the audience. Members from the City of San Bernardino.
Fred Charette.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you.
Great microphone.
Can you let the City of Highland know where you got these, please?
Okay. If I could have our secretary please lead us in the pledge.
Please join me as we pledge to our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so now we are going to call to order the closed session portion of the meeting. If I could have our attorney read us into closed session, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's one item on closed session, conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D2, which is significant exposure to litigation 2 cases.
Thank you very much. And now, Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir, there are no public comments.
Thank you very much. We now recess to closed session and we will re-adjourn shortly. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. We'll now reconvene our meeting. If I can have our legal counsel read us out of closed session, please.
Mr. Mayor, there was no reportable action taken in closed session.
Thank you very much. We would now like to call to order the open session. We've already done the pledge. We'll dispense with that. Madam Clerk, any items to be added or deleted?
None at this time.
Thank you. Conflict of interest disclosure. Anybody have a conflict? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to informational items. Mr. Burrows, if you would please, sir.
So I'll start with a bit of good news for the time being. When we last talked, our delegation in Washington, D.C. was working on an extension of FAA authorization. And at this point in time, that has been done up until May 10th, which again allows our current year grant projects and programs to move forward. So we appreciate them, and hopefully they will get us through the end of the year here too, the fiscal year. So secondly, I'd like Ms. Pritchett to give you an update on an upcoming event that will be running around the streets of our airport. Kat, if you would.
Thank you, Mike. So last year, the San Bernardino Airport proudly sponsored the Redlands Bicycle Classic. Their committee was so impressed with our participation that they asked if we would be interested in being the starting leg of one of their races this year. On Thursday, April 11th, the men's leg of the Onyx Summit race will be commencing here at San Bernardino. They will meet up with the women at Hangar 24 and continue up Highway 38 with a finish at Onyx Summit. The teams will begin setup here at 8 a.m. The race will begin at 10. Their starting point will be at Rialto Avenue. They'll be heading out Rialto to Del Rosa, north on Del Rosa, to 3rd, east on 3rd, to Alabama, south on Alabama, and out to Redlands. So they will be out of our public right-of-way in San Bernardino within 8 minutes. We're excited to be the host start for the race. It's great publicity for the airport. I'd be remiss not to thank city staff over in San Bernardino for helping us with some permitting and right-of-way to help make the event happen. So we're excited to get them kicked off. We wanted to really, to close, you will be noticing a higher level of bicycle traffic after about April 6th around the airport. So just be aware and share the road and come out and have a good time. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Ms.
And then we have one more, because we know you have no shortage of acronyms in your world. Mr. Gibbs has an update on some of our flight procedures. Mark?
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we're pleased to share that As of last Thursday, March 21st, we've got a new arrivals procedure at the San Bernardino International Airport. And it's called a special approach, and it can be flown by typically commercial operators that have flight departments. They've got to get specific authorization from the FAA to fly this procedure. But we think it's very helpful not only for this airport, but also for Redlands Airport, and will provide a predictable path for some of the large aircraft that land from the east. And it's called the RNAV Visual. We're going to be sharing this new procedure with our Good Neighbor site, and it's going to include this informational video so that people can become more familiar with why airplanes are flying where they are, not only on this procedure, but really around the San Bernardino Airport. So with that in mind, the video that we're about to share with you is it was developed to help explain this in a graphic way, and it'll be hosted again on our Good Neighbor site, so everyone can find it should there be any concerns. But we're happy to share that with you now. Jillian, if you would.
Welcome to the San Bernardino International Airport Informational Video Series. This presentation will provide information on local flight procedures for aircraft landing and departing SBD. Air traffic at the SBD International Airport has increased in recent years due to growing demand for general aviation, business aviation, air cargo, and passenger aircraft services at the airport. The sizes and types of aircraft operating at SBD vary greatly, ranging in size from single-seat aircraft to the world's largest cargo and passenger carrying aircraft. Adding to the airspace complexity are the numerous aircraft operating at multiple surrounding airports, such as Los Angeles International Airport, Ontario International Airport, and Redlands Municipal Airport. This busy airspace is also surrounded by restricted military airspace and mountainous terrain. Air traffic controllers must keep aircraft properly spaced and separated as they move through the system. The SBD International Airport is a single runway airport with arrivals and departures sharing the same runway. Air traffic controllers must provide direction and speed instructions to pilots in order to manage and maintain a safe flow of aircraft, both in the air and on the runways and taxiways at the airport. For optimum operation of an aircraft, it is preferred to both land and take off into wind. In Southern California, the prevailing wind comes from the west. Consequently, planes at SBD will typically take off towards the west from runway 24. However, arrivals at SBD will either land from the west or the east, depending on wind speed, wind direction, the type of aircraft, and other operational factors. Smaller general aviation aircraft are most likely to land from the east on runway 24, as smaller aircraft need to take advantage of the headwind typically coming from the west. Larger business jets and commercial-size aircraft operated by airlines and cargo carriers can land with either a headwind or a tailwind. These aircraft typically land from the west on runway 6, except when the winds from the west are too strong, and then they will land from the east on runway 24. Aircraft approach SBD from all directions and are directed by air traffic controllers into the local airspace on standardized arrival routes. There are two standardized arrival routes, the Ziggy arrival flight procedure and the Setter arrival flight procedure. These long-established procedures serve SBD and also Los Angeles International, Ontario International, and other surrounding airports. Ziggy is used for aircraft arriving from the northeast and northwest, while Setter is used for aircraft arriving from the east and south. Traffic volume, restricted airspace, mountainous terrain, and typical winds were factors taken into consideration in the design of the Ziggy and Setter arrival procedures. Once inside the local airspace, air traffic controllers provide instructions to pilots to join the Instrument Landing System, or ILS. The ILS is a radio signal beam aligned with the runway centerline that guides aircraft in a straight line approach to runway 6. Or, during strong westerly winds, controllers may direct aircraft to land on runway 24 using visual navigational procedures. Arrival procedures for runway 24 use advanced satellite-based technology for commercial aircraft landing at the airport. This approach is mainly used during strong westerly wind conditions, which are most common during summer afternoons. Some aircraft landing runway 24 fly satellite-based procedures beginning approximately 20 miles from the airport. To meet safety requirements, this series of turns was designed to avoid the airspace above Redlands Airport, a nearby acrobatic flight area, and the nearby mountains. As opposed to flying visual navigation procedures with little guidance, this satellite-based procedure guides approaching aircraft on a more predictable and stabilized path. This procedure was designed to minimize flights directly over residences in the communities of Redlands and Highland to the extent possible. A more stable flight path means less need for the pilot to adjust engine power during descent, which can result in lower noise and air emissions. This video provides a basic understanding of the airspace and flight procedures surrounding the San Bernardino International Airport. For more information on the airport, please visit our website.
So we're going to share that video through the Good Neighbor site. We want people to view it so they have a greater understanding of why airplanes fly where they do. And we're excited to share with you that the RNAV visual, again, it's gone live, and it's a good thing for the airport. It's a good thing for not only this airport, but also Redlands. Helps in the reliability and helps with our certainty for airplanes to land here during certain weather conditions. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Just a comment from myself, Mike, good work on this, because it allows the residents in the area of the airport to know exactly why the airplanes come in the directions that they come in through, and explains the wind conditions and everything that are important to make safe landings. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burrows?
And that concludes our reports.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item H, this is commission consent items, items 3 through 7. Chair will entertain a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by, okay, moved by Supervisor
Second.
Rao. Any public comment on these?
No public comments.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, the vote, please.
Yes, of course. We have a motion by Member Rowe and a second by Member Lilburn. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro,
Yes?
Member Rigsby,
Yes.
Member Rowe,
Yes.
Member Lilburn,
Yes.
and Member Charette. Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to items I. These are commission action items. Item 8 is to receive and file the annual independent audit report of the San Bernardino International Airport Authority for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023. Mr. Mike Cosino, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This item, as mentioned, is to receive our annual audited financial report for SBIAA for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023. We have with us Mr. David Showalter of Ide Bailey. He is our engagement partner. He's joining us remotely. Mr. Showalter is here to present the results of the audit and respond to commissioners' questions. The presentation will cover the audit objective and standards, responsibilities and roles, and the audit results, and then any questions if you so desire. And then one final comment before passing this to David. The finance team is very appreciative of Ide Bailey's audit team's professionalism and patience for what has been another interesting audit season due to the implementation of what we love to call subscription-based IT assets. So with that, I will pass it to Mr. Showalter.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and good evening, members of the board. My name is David Showalter with Ide Bailey, and we are presenting to you the results of the June 30th, 2023 audit. And just to recap our audit team, again, my name is David Showalter. I'm the audit partner on the audit. I have the final responsibility over the audit. Roger Alfaro is our technical partner. Kyle Bartle, our CPA, is a senior manager, and Kyle was tasked with running pretty much the day-to-day aspects of the audit, along with Kayla Campbell. So the scope of the audit is performing the fiscal year 2023 financial statement audit. We audited the annual financial statements that are prepared by management, and we also conducted a single audit this year. This is something new. We did not do a single audit last year, so there was a single audit required this year, which is an audit of your federal grants that you receive. Real quick on our plan, scope, and timing. We start the audit back in July and August of 23. This is really our planning phase where we're gearing up for the audit, and the field work phase and the interim phase began in the August through October timeframe. We were working on finishing up the audit in October, and the single audit carried us all the way through March of 2024, where we just issued the report dated March 15th, 2024. So in performing an audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards, our responsibility is to express opinions about whether the financial statements having been prepared by management are presented fairly in all material respects in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. Our opinion provides a reasonable but not absolute assurance on the fair presentation of the financial statements, and our audit does not relieve management of its responsibilities. Management is responsible for the financial statements, and as your independent auditor, we come in and we audit those financial statements and provide an opinion on those financial statements. For the single audit, we express an opinion on compliance applicable to the major federal programs. And as part of our responsibility, we exercise professional judgment and professional skepticism. So in our audit, we are required to be ethically independent in fact and appearance. Part of our responsibility is identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to error or fraud. We obtain that understanding of internal controls as it relates to financial reporting in order to design our audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstance, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the authority's internal control. Accordingly, we do not opine on the controls of the authority. Our responsibility is just to the extent of understanding those controls as it relates to the types of audit procedures that we'll be performing. We also evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of significant accounting estimates made by management, as well as evaluate the overall presentation of the financial statements. And then we conclude whether in our judgment there are conditions or events considered in the aggregate that maybe raise substantial doubt about the authority's ability to continue as a going concern for a reasonable period of time. All of these items are actually indicated in our audit opinion. So the results of the audit for the financial statements, we rendered an unmodified or a clean opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that the authority can obtain. And for your single audit, which was an audit of your federal grants, and this year you had the Airport Improvement Program grant that was audited this year, the opinion is also an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion on compliance with that as well. So that's very good. And we just also want to thank Mark and Alka and the whole team, again, echoing Mark for their patience as well as we're working through the audit this year. And we really appreciate everyone's help. And then in your package, we do have a separate letter. In addition to the financial statements that you have, we have another letter that's addressed to the board that we outline additional responsibilities we have to communicate with you and those charged with governance, ethics and independence, the qualitative aspects of accounting policies and estimates and note disclosures, any difficulties we encountered during the audit, any uncorrected or corrected misstatements, any disagreements we may have had with management as a result of the audit, when management took responsibility for the financial statements in the form of a management representation letter, and whether management consulted with any other accountants on accounting matters. So in summary, we have complied with all relevant ethical requirements regarding independence, significant accounting policies. Management has a responsibility to select and use appropriate accounting policies. Our responsibility is to review those policies to ensure that they comply with the appropriate accounting standards. Also, we would communicate to you if there was any variation in those accounting policies from one year to the next. And in this year, there were no changes in the accounting policies. There was, as Mark mentioned, there was a new accounting pronouncement this year, which was GASB, or the Governmental Accounting Standards Board 96, which dealt with the accounting for subscription-based information technology arrangements. The authority went through the process of evaluating the existence of those types of arrangements, and at the conclusion, they were deemed to be not material to the financial statements as a whole. And there was one corrected misstatement related to a journal entry error, resulting in a reduction of cash and investments and an increase in accounts receivable. So we had one audit adjustment, but we did not have any uncorrected adjustments. And as far as we know, management did not consult with any other accountants. We did not have any difficulties with respect to the audit, and we did not have any disagreements with management. So we're happy to say. And then lastly, we did have one finding as it relates to the financial statements, as it relates to that journal entry adjustment. And so we have reported that as a finding in our report. This was basically a recommendation that there would be an additional procedure to check journal entries and make sure that they're accurate before they're being posted, and that they're being posted to the right accounts. So on the single audit, we did not have any findings on the single audit. So that's good for the authority. And the prior year finding, we did have some findings last year, and each of these findings have been fully implemented in the current year. And then lastly, we did have some new accounting pronouncements, as we mentioned earlier. There was the GASB 96 was a new accounting pronouncement that the authority did walk through the implementation to determine that it did not have a material effect to the financial statements. And each of these other new accounting pronouncements, also the authority went through the process of reviewing to determine their applicability, and they did not have any applicability in the current year. Looking ahead, to next year, we have a few new accounting pronouncements coming up that will have minimal effect to the financial statements. Nothing that we've had to experience over the last few years with the lease accounting standard and the subscription-based IT asset implementation. So it's looking rather light looking ahead. One item of interest is one that was just released by the GASB, which is GASB 102, and it will require certain risk disclosures to be included in the financial statements. And those certain risk disclosures are pertaining to concentrations or constraints. So that would be something where the authority would look at certain revenue streams or certain expenditures that potentially would wind up in a disclosure in the footnotes because of the concentration risk, or maybe there are some certain constraints where the authority is bound to encumber certain expenses sort of outside of its control. So, but that's not going to be until 2025. So we have a few years to analyze these statements to determine their full applicability. So that concludes the presentation. Are there any questions?
Questions or comments from commissioners? Seeing none, thank you very much, sir, for the report.
Thank you.
And thank you to staff for an excellent passing grade. Well done.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank our teacher again, Mr. Showalter.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 9. This is to consider and adopt proposed budget adjustments for fiscal year 23-24. Mr. Cosano, if you would, please.
All right, thank you, Mayor. This one's a relatively short and easy one. We have an offsetting inter-line item transfer within the general fund of $70,000 that offsets. And that is to provide the funds to paint the exterior of Building 673, our domestic terminal. And the other item is a capital projects fund adjustment to basically rehabilitate the pavement at Building 759. It's in dire need of some tender loving care. And with that, that concludes my report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions on item number 9? Seeing and hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Charette and a second by Commissioner Rigsby. Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rowe?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 10. Item number 10 is to award a construction contract to Landmark Paving Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $78,240 for the IRP 2 landfill surface repair project. Mr. Jeff Barrows, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The award of the construction contract would authorize Landmark Paving to clean, fill asphalt surface cracks and repair a 40 by 40 section at the entry gates of our landfill. This is about 22,000 linear feet of asphalt filling that's going in this project. Award of this contract with Landmark Paving in amount not to exceed $78,240 for the landfill surface repair project and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents. We reached out to 4 paving companies. Landmark Paving was the lowest qualified bidder for $78,240. Staff recommends that the Commission approves the above recommended action. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Move approval.
I have a motion to approve by the Supervisor and a second by Commissioner Rigsby. Madam Clerk, the vote, please.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Rowe and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rowe?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. The item passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 11. This is to approve the award of a construction contract to Manage Corporation for the UAS Office Center parking lot paving project in an amount not to exceed $83,508. Mr. Barrow, please.
Thank you again, Mayor. The proposed construction contract addresses much-needed improvements, as Mr. Cousineau just had mentioned, an adjustment for our parking lot over there. And this will include new parking stalls, handicap stalls, striping throughout, and a new paving section as a much-needed, again, parking lot. Approve of the award of the construction contract with Maddox Corp. For the USA Office Center parking lot project in the amount not to exceed $83,508 and authorize Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents. Again, we reached out to 4 companies. Maddox Corp. Came in at $83,507. They were the lowest qualified bidder, and staff recommends that the board approves the above recommended action.
Mr. Charette moves to
Second.
approve, and a second by Mr. Rigsby. Madam Clerk, the vote, please. Oh, any public comment? I'm sorry.
No comments on this.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette. Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 12. This is to approve award of a service agreement with PDS R&B Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as DBA Certipro Painters of Corona and Temecula Valley in an amount not to exceed $69,544 for exterior painting of the domestic terminal. Mr. Graham, please.
Thank you. The domestic terminal, as you know, is getting a lot more exposure from the public and our passengers. It's been 15 years since the terminal was painted. With the heat, the weather, everything else, the paint is extremely deteriorated. We reached out to 3 different companies. Only 2 actually came back. Certipro is actually the lowest bidder on this. And what we're requesting is approval to award this contract and proceed.
Thank you. Comments or questions on this?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Charette and second by Supervisor Rao. Public comment?
No public comments.
Thank you. The vote, please, ma'am.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rao. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 13. Approve award of a multi-year agreement with AM Tech Total Security Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $83,331 for fire and burglar alarm monitoring services. Stephen McIntyre, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is to award a contract to Amtech Security for a one-year agreement with 2 one-year extension options, not to exceed $83,331 over a 3-year period for fire and burglar alarm monitoring. We reached out to 3 different vendors, and Amtech came back as the best fiscal option for the services required. Our request is that this motion be approved by the board, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Public comment?
No public comments.
Chair will entertain a motion in a second.
So moved.
Supervisor Rao,
Second.
second Commissioner Rigsby. Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have a motion by Member Rao and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 14, and this is to consider and adopt a U.S. Department of Transportation Title VI Civil Rights Plan and Community Participation Plan. Mr. Gibbs, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a programmatic requirement of the U.S. Department of Transportation that it extends to the FAA, and the FAA then requires that airports in the National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems that receive AIP funds complete such a plan. That also includes a community participation plan. We've drafted those, they're ready to go, and they require your concurrence before we submit them to the Office of Civil Rights for evaluation and review. And once that is complete, then the FAA will continue to provide AIP funds for the projects that take place inside the airfield. And with that, we're seeking your concurrence and adoption of a Title VI Civil Rights Plan and a Community Participation Plan.
Thank you. Public comment?
No public comments, sir.
Commissioner comments or questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Charette and Supervisor Rao. Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rao. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 15 is to consider and adopt the San Bernardino International Airport Authority landside notice of violation program for enforcement of airport rules and regulations and parking violations on SBIAA properties. Mr. Mitch Datillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in June of 2020, the SBIAA Commission, or the authority back then, approved Operational Directive 20-001, which has authorized employees to enforce airport rules and regulations in the restricted area of the airport, which is commonly referred to as the airport operational area. These, as we already heard, with the growth of the airport, with travelers, tenants, employees, and passengers, we are recommending amending that current operational directive to include properties outside of the AOA, which is commonly referred to as the landside operation of the airport. By amending 20-001 to 24-001, this would allow us to enforce landside operational directive and the landside violation program. This program has two functions. The first will be the same as the operational area, which will allow us to enforce all rules and regulations of the airport, whether it's on restricted areas or the landside area. The second function will allow us to enforce parking regulations throughout the airport. With the growth in passengers, we have a lot of people using our parking lots, double parking in front of the terminal. This will allow us to now enforce that using the authority granted to us by the government code and by the vehicle code. This is a customary practice throughout the state as far as other airports like us, school districts, and public agencies. Lastly, we recommend the approval of this program in its entirety, which includes using a third-party vendor or a company to manage the administrative piece of this program. We reached out to both Phoenix Group and Data Ticket, which are used both by multiple public agencies and law enforcement agencies throughout the state. Coming from the Sheriff's Department, I know we just switched from Phoenix Group to Data Ticket, but by using them, they would handle the administrative portion of this of the ticket. They would handle all scheduling, fines, fees, schedules, appeals, and any delinquent fees that will be, if applicable, attached to the vehicle's registration. The staff recommends the commission adopt recommended action, and that concludes my report, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Comments or questions from commissioners? If not, public comment?
No public comments.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Okay, Secretary moves it.
Second?
Second by Supervisor Rao. Madam Clerk, the vote, please.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Lilburn and a second by Member Rao. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 16 is the review status of the action plan for San Bernardino International Airport. Mr. Burrows.
So I will be very brief. Spring has sprung, and we are in budget mode. And that's where we're going to be for a little bit. So next month we should have an update on our grant initiatives for you, but short and sweet tonight. Concludes my report.
Okay. Ken? Thank you. Any open session public comment?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Commission member comments? Seeing none. There being no other business to attend